up, everybody? Welcome to Off the Reel. As always, I'm George, and today is Star Wars Day. Finally got to see Star Wars The Last Jedi. I got my crew here with me. Over here, we got my brother John.
Hey.
Seth, the beautiful Angie.
Hi.
And Josh. All finally seen the movie. And, man, I'm pumped about it. I'm really excited. We're going to do, and Chico. This time we won't miss Chico. He has impressions too. Anyway, so we're going to get into a spoiler-free review, and then afterwards we're going to get a little bit more in depth. I'll give a break in between there and let everybody know when that happens. So, you know, guys, what are your first impressions? What do you think about the movie, man?
I thought it was great. I think it was definitely way better than the Force Awakens. I'd even have to go as far as to say it's even almost on the level of Empire. That's how good I thought it was. The guy who directed it did a really fantastic job. Definitely held my attention the entire time with all the twists and turns and everything. Definitely thought it was great. 2 lightsabers up.
I also liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. Very entertaining. I think even people who are not like Star Wars fans will enjoy it.
I agree.
So you can bring like your family, your mom, your girlfriend, or whoever that's not really into Star Wars. They'll still be entertained. So I think this is definitely worth a watch in the theater, and get the whole experience.
I agree.
Nice. John?
I didn't like it. I'm kidding.
Comments on below.
No, I liked it. I would agree with Josh. For those who aren't necessarily like uber fans, it's still a good movie that is very entertaining, and I did like the storyline overall. You know, as far as ranking, I haven't really set a where I want to put it as far as a rank. But either way, still a good movie.
Angie?
I agree. I liked it. I liked how they really stuck to the characters, you know. I didn't think that they ventured too far off. But like my brother said, it is very family friendly. It's very good for everybody who's really not into Star Wars. You don't really need to know what's going on in detail and depth of all the other Star Wars. You can be a brand new person coming into Star Wars and seeing it and really get captured by it and be like, okay, I understand what's going on. You don't need to have this whole backstory and sit down and waste 2 days catching up watching all the other films. You can totally jump on board and know what's going on and enjoy it.
Cool. I, too, enjoyed the movie very much. You know, I am an uber Star Wars fan. I've been watching Star Wars movies since I was in the womb, according to my dad. So, you know, I really had a good time with this movie. It definitely was a little bit more than what I expected it to be. Took me through some twists and turns that we'll go into a little bit later that I absolutely didn't expect. It was very good. I had a great time. So with that, let's talk a little bit more about characters. What do you guys think about the acting in the movie?
You know, I thought the acting was great. Getting to see Mark Hamill reprise Luke Skywalker and actually talk and have some dialogue, and you know, you can tell at some points in the movie like just the amount of pain that he's been through and the conflict and everything that he's trying to deal with to try to figure out, okay, what's the right thing to do.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. The acting was really, really good. There's no acting in there that I thought was like, you know, she like pulled me out of the movie or he pulled me out of the movie. I think everybody acted really well. I'm actually very surprised, even with I don't know if this. Well, I guess it won't be spoilers. But how Princess Leia.
Oh yeah.
Her acting was awesome, and her role in the whole movie was pretty awesome. I was really impressed with what they did with her. So
yeah, I actually not only just the actors we all know, but even some of the new characters that they introduced, I actually was entertained by them as well. And then even how they expanded on some of the, I wouldn't say like the stars like Rey or Finn, but even
Poe Dameron.
Yeah, Poe Dameron. Yes.
Yeah.
I liked his character, how he was portrayed, and how he's you know growing within the Resistance. I definitely.
That's true, because they go into each character.
Definitely get that Han Solo vibe from Poe.
Yes.
You know, like he's gonna be the guy.
Don't tell me the eyes.
He's gonna be the guy that's like, you know who I am. He's like, I made the Kessel Run. You know, it's like, you know, he's gonna be that guy. He's got that aura about him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
True.
I like it. I like the characters a lot. I really do. I really enjoyed how each character got you emotionally involved to their story. So it actually seemed like you were really seeing everyone's life in a way. You know, you got a little glimpse of every single person's story, and it flowed really well, and it got you connected with the characters, and you felt for them. You know, I think you felt for each and every one of them in their own way. Like when somebody was doing something, you're like, man, I'm rooting for you. Or when somebody else was, you know, doing their part, you really felt for them, and all of them equally had that same amount of like screen time. So it was a good balance, I believe, in showing everybody's character and backstory.
Yeah, right, true. I have to agree with you about Poe Dameron. I thought that dude kicked it out of the park, man. It was great. I had a good time watching him. He did give me that Han Solo vibe, so I had a good time watching him. I thought the acting overall was very good, and Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher's role was amazing. You know, it was definitely awesome to see her on screen one more time. So that was pretty cool. So last thing before we get into a little more real detail, you know, it's not a Star Wars movie without special effects. So what do you guys think about the special effects in the movie overall? Everything on it. Did you think it was great? You know, were there things about it that you were like, you know? What do you think, Seth?
I mean, you know, the special effects are special effects. I mean, you know, they're you know, if you go back and watch the older Star Wars to where they are now, clearly, obviously, there's advancements, like leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
You know, but you can still tell. You can still tell, like at some points, like where.
Yeah, he does.
You know, like. Damn dog, now you made me lose my train of thought.
It's all right.
You want to get in the movie too, man.
I'll pass the stick. Pass.
Well, no, I hear what you're saying, bro. Because like a lot of people, you know, even when they talk about like their favorite Star Wars movies, they're gonna say, you know, Empire Strikes Back, for example. Is like a lot of people's favorite movie.
I know.
And you know, and you know the true, you know, a lot of the Uber fans like my brother, you know, lean towards the first. Even the last 4 episodes, second three episodes.
Original trilogy.
Yeah, thank you. But like for me, like I really liked episode 3, and that would probably for me rank, you know, really high. And that's mainly because of what you were saying, like the CGI has improved over the years. So what I've come to expect, you know, from the Star Wars, you know, they set the bar, and I feel like this movie, you know, didn't lack for anything, in my opinion.
You know, the one, now that I got my train of thought back, you know, the one cool, thank you. The one cool thing is that I like is that how definitely with the special effects is how they totally improved on how you see, you know, Rey or Luke or even Kylo Ren when they use the Force. Whether they're grabbing something, they're moving something, you know, Force. I mean, it's just it.
Oh, you pop out of space.
Yeah. So you know, so yeah, so I think that was pretty cool the way they more focused on that type.
Yeah,
true. Guys dig the special effects?
Yeah, it was good special effects. You know, didn't look fake. It looked realistic. I mean, at this point, you know, special effects is like, you know, leaps and bounds from what it was back then. But it didn't take away from the story or anything like that. You know, it just added on to it. Didn't overdo with special effects where it pulls you away from the story. I think it was awesome.
Come on, guys, it's Disney. They own everything.
They do now.
I don't know if I'm like maybe going a little bit away from the topic of special effects, but I was expecting a little bit more one-on-one. This isn't really a spoiler, but like more one-on-one combat. Like the whole, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like when parts came up, I told my brother, like, finally, like everything for me at first with the movie felt a little bit at a distance, you know, too much. I wanted more like one-on-one combat, more like action, more, I'm not saying there wasn't any action, there was a lot of action, but I wanted more of that one-on-one battle scene type of stuff, not so much like, you know,
I hear that.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, because usually when you saw the other Star Wars, there were moments where it was like so intense and gripping and right there, like they're fighting with one another. And this one, I felt it lacked a little bit of that.
Okay.
A little bit of that.
Well, I think part of that is because, you know, they're adding the new characters and they were talking that story, and they, you know, because Force Awakens, you know, it's kind of like just introducing you to what was gonna go down, and then this one is, you know, is bringing you in more. So they were bringing those storylines. Like one thing I liked a lot about it was that, you know, almost every character had a counterpart.
Right. Yes.
You know, and they had their own little battle going on with each other.
That's
true. That is true.
I didn't notice that.
No, that's true.
It's like every day for me, I'm dealing with an internal battle.
I sense conflict.
There's no balance in the force.
For me, the special effects I thought were very good. There were some parts that I felt it was a little bit on the lines of like the prequel movies that they had. I like the original trilogy because they didn't involve so much of the CGI, and the characters were real. They were puppets. You know, Yoda, you know, in the original Empire Strikes Back felt very real, you know, in that sense. Whereas, like say, Jar Jar Binks was not like that. Jar Jar Binks was very CGI. You know, you knew he was fake. Same thing like when they redid the Return of the Jedi, and you had those characters added into the cantina scene at the beginning with Jabba the Hutt. Those guys looked very, very fake to me. And I felt that there was some parts of this movie that had that. But overall, I thought that the special effects were awesome. Some of the battle scenes, especially like the space battle scenes, were outstanding. I think they did a great job with that. So, all right. So that is our little take on the movie as far as spoiler-free goes. We're going to give you guys a little bit of a commercial break, and then we're going to get into a little bit more detail here. So we'll be right back. And we're back, and this is going to be the spoiler review. So then one more time, this is going to be full of spoilers. We're going to be talking about some details of the movie, and if you're sitting here, that means you've seen the movie before, or you're not listening to me in the videos, and if that's the case, then I feel bad for you, but hey, I told you.
You're just so well at this point.
I'm saying, we got 5 people here, you know, we all heard it, so you can't come on in the comments and tell me, I didn't hear this.
You know what you should do when it comes up to this part? You should put like a big thing in there that says warning, warning, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. It's going to be a old big graphic that says spoiler, spoiler. Right now, it's going to be spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. All right. So, now, guys, what did you really think of the movie?
So the movie was...
I was shocked when Rey died. I was shocked when she died.
Spoiler! She died? The spoiler.
No, she didn't die, everybody. He's just messing.
All right, but seriously though, okay, the beginning. How did you guys feel about the way the thing started out?
The beginning started out really good. I was laughing hysterically when Poe was flying out in his X-Wing, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna take these guys on all by myself." And,
that was badass.
And BB-8 sitting in the back, and he's like, "Come on, let's do this, BB-8." And he's like, "Let's go get him," and basically he's just stalling to buy time. Which was cool, and then of course all of a sudden he's like, you know what, screw this shit. He just goes in and starts mowing down all the cannons on the ship, and he's like, let's see how far we can take this, and and then all the bombers come in, and lives get lost, and
Do you think they over dramatized like the whole bombing thing?
Oh, very.
Well, they're
trying 15 minutes of just
drama.
Push the button.
Yeah.
You know what that reminded me of? The part in Deadpool where he's trying to kill the guy on the ice and he's driving the Zamboni.
Tell me where your fucking boss is, or you're gonna die in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
If they didn't do that, then the character Rose wouldn't have her significance, bro.
I think that's why they did that though.
Yeah.
But they were milking that.
They were milking. The beginning was milked for drama.
It was her medallion that was the special power at some point. How would you have told that story?
Yeah.
They were trying to bring you that emotional connection,
Right.
you know, between
Yeah.
the sisters.
They try to pull you in and pull on your heartstrings.
That
But it was
beginning,
too soon, though. I agree with my brother. It was way too soon in the beginning to be that dramatic and that, like, because you're like, the movie just started already. It's kind of like in slow motion, like, no, the world is doomed. I gotta save it. And you're like, what? Like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. You just
True.
came on screen.
Like,
Like, I'm not gonna feel for you.
It was like I was watching Armageddon. Press the button.
Yes.
Just
Push the button.
Just press the damn button. And it's like,
but I feel like this is a direct continuation to The Force Awakens.
Yes.
This is where we're starting off at. So, you know, they're escaping.
disagree.
It is a direct continuation
No,
of The Force
because
Awakens.
if it picked up right after The Force Awakens, the very end scene of The Force Awakens was Luke and Rey.
Rey.
And that's it.
They
And
did show that.
But they showed
Yeah,
that.
but they showed it after that whole initial.
It was
Well,
kind of
It
like
was going
thinking
at
of
the
on the
same,
same
it was the
time.
same time.
Exactly.
It should have picked up.
It was the same time.
Okay,
It should have
so
picked up right where it left
Seth
off.
obviously needs a meanwhile in the thing. So
Yeah.
meanwhile, while this is going on,
You read too many comic books, right?
It should have picked up right where it left off with, you know, her trying to hand him the lightsaber and he's looking at her like all confused, like, what am I supposed to do with this?
dude.
I mean,
Speaking of
that-
That was badass.
Funny, bro.
Yeah, when he-
How do you guys feel? Because that's 100% Disney touch on there. All those little jokes that they put
Yes.
throughout.
they did put a lot of jokes.
A
put
lot
a
of
lot
little
of that,
jokes,
like, kitty
quirkiness,
jokes, yeah.
kitty stuff.
I thought that was great though, like especially at the beginning with Poe and what he was telling Hux, and then afterwards he went
yeah.
all like Fast and Furious and just like Gnostic into the thing. I was just like, this is dope. I was having a great time with
He's
that.
like, am I still holding?
Yeah,
He's like,
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
See, I think that will appeal to like the general audience who doesn't follow Star
Star
Wars
Wars,
because
yeah.
they'll keep them intrigued with those
See,
little jokes
but
and
here,
stuff like that.
again, this is just me probably overthinking. Do they have call waiting or holding in the future?
Obviously they must. It's because he believed it.
I mean, you know, I didn't hear any like
No,
really
but they
bad
were
like
not
hold
call
music like.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about call when he was pretending like he didn't hear him.
Yeah, that's
It's not
true.
called
Like a
waiting.
bad
Funny.
reception.
No, but he's like, am I on hold? He's like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
All right.
All right. So next act had the Alliance. I guess they're now Rebellion or what are they? Resistance.
The Resistance.
right? So the Resistance is being chased by the Empire,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very. I felt like it was a little bit drawn out in those scenes, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think about that?
It's like, okay, so I've got. I mean, the crazy thing was, you know, was how all of a sudden this technology got developed to where they could track them now through light speed.
They didn't even explain how they did that.
No, they just
Well,
threw that
that
in there,
irked me.
kind of.
I imagine that's
They
probably
can
going
do
to be
it
the
now.
big one.
Oh, that's big. Oh, we can turn
But
it
that-
off. But you know how to turn it off, but you don't know how to
but that
explain how it
was,
happens.
but that was.
Well,
you
they
know,
figured it out. They had the techie Asian girl who figured that whole thing out.
No, she's
Racist
saying-
much?
It was in the movie.
It was an
It was
Asian
in
chick.
the movie.
Hold
She
on a
liked
second.
the
Let me
Asian
crunch
chick.
my math. Let me crunch my math. and calculate. I mean, come on, man.
She just figured it out of nowhere.
No,
No,
but
but the point is though, you know, they don't explain how it happens. They even say, "Oh, I still don't know how they do it, but it's got to be coming from that guy." So let's go fix it.
Talking
Well,
about
they
the
said it was on
whole-
the lead ship, is what they said basically.
Talking about the whole chasing thing, how do you guys feel about how simplified they made the story? Because essentially 75% of the story is just them running away
That is the whole
from
movie.
this one ship.
That's why I felt
That
like
is
it
the
got
whole
drawn
movie,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 75% of the story is them running away from this one ship.
It's like phone
that's
booth.
that's it.
and it's like
That's
it's
the
like
whole movie.
and it's like really it's like how long can gas really get you?
We're
in
gone
that
a
ship?
pretty long time, huh?
I mean,
Yeah.
For
they're
the
like,
time
oh,
they
we've
said they had. They
yeah,
had like
they're like, oh, we've got
Yeah.
six. We've
and
got
they
six.
got all that stuff done in hours.
They made it to
Yeah.
a planet. They
Yeah.
got arrested.
They said 18
They
hours.
rode some
They're like, the
alien
fuel is going to
horses.
run out in 18 hours.
and
We're
then
trying to
How
find the
fast are you
coder.
going if you're able to leave, go to the planet, have an adventure, and then catch right back up to them?
I'm saying.
Right.
Everybody
speed.
was having their own adventure, though.
That's some serious light speed right there. The part where Rey meets up with Luke finally, and the way that started out, you know, it was definitely much more humorous than what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
the
the
whole
tossing of the lightsaber was
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Disney-fied it.
he did a little bit
That's what they
Disney.
call it, Disney-fied.
I guess we're gonna
Disney-fied.
call it
Every
Disney-fied.
cutesy thing is Disney-fied.
It's
I didn't
Disney-fied.
think there was so much cute. I think it was funny, but it was not what I
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
The
Her
new
shooting the
creatures.
gun
Those
and
were
then...
Disney-fied.
In
I'm
fact,
talking about Luke
Speaking
and
of
Rey.
Disney-fied, yes. In fact, I felt like that was the one part I would say I didn't really enjoy too much. Was that
The island
if I
part?
felt like they were kind of mixing the cartoons, like creatures from the cartoons. Now you're starting to see it there, and I was like, okay,
Products.
That's
They're
that
trying to
Disney
sell
fight.
their. Yeah, they're trying to
That's
do that
Disney fight.
product.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Merchandising.
Merchandise.
And that's my friend where Porg comes in.
I like Porg.
That's
man.
where Porg
I
comes
think it was
in.
pork
Bet
was
you
used
buy one.
tastefully.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
it wasn't
I
too
have one that's a
overwhelming.
pop. Shut your mouth.
I agree with him.
It wasn't too
Ford wasn't
overwhelming.
overwhelming. Definitely wasn't the Jar
Just
Jar
little
Binks.
bits and pieces of
Yeah,
it.
it was
You know.
tasteful.
Enough to
Something
get
about
them to have that merchandise go up when the kids go to the store and say,
Yeah.
"Can I buy that
Better
stuff?"
than, better than an Ewok?
No.
No,
Nothing's
I
better
love
than an
no,
Ewok.
I
Get the hell
love
outta
the
here.
I
Ewok.
love the Ewok.
When can we
BB-8.
start talking about the little love romance like
You
angle
thought that
they-
was romance?
I thought that was romance.
Between who?
Kylo Ren and
No, that
Rey?
wasn't love.
No,
I don't
okay,
think it
maybe
was.
love is a little strong. There was some sort of sentiment
like
that they
they're
were trying to
related.
throw in
To
there.
me,
You
to,
think it was
I
I feel like
I
they
said
were
that.
related.
that crossed my mind.
I
That's
said
how
that to
mine
him.
too.
I'm like, watch them be family because she doesn't know who her parents
Exactly.
are,
oh
and
yeah.
she's always
But, yeah,
searching
by
for
the
her
way,
parents
you
are.
still don't know who her damn parents are after two films.
But if they're not
I mean,
related, they could go through like maybe a little bit more of a like he has that sentiment for her. Because remember, even when he reached his hand out to her, he goes, "Please come with me, like please." Like there was that little bit
No,
of a
it
like
was just no. It was just like, hey, join.
Yeah.
Join me. It
He
wasn't
did
like.
beg.
It
but
wasn't
he
like.
begged
It
though,
wasn't like.
and then he
it
made it
wasn't
seem like
hey,
she
I
was
wanna,
important to him
Yeah.
only.
Nah, I don't think. Well, it's important. It's important to her because she's got the Force abilities. She's a Jedi. He wants to take her and train her because now he's supreme leader.
Okay,
Ren.
that whole thing. Before we go on to that part, I mean, okay. So Kylo Ren, did you guys like him more in this movie?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, definitely,
I did.
definitely more likable.
More likable for me.
More likable. He wasn't
Was he?
as whiny as
Yes.
he was.
Still whiny,
in-
though.
He's
Yeah, he wasn't
No,
as.
no.
Wasn't
I would say he was
as
a little
whiny.
more. I am who I am in this movie.
You went back. You saw some more of his
Softer side.
backstory, especially when they went into the park about
Yeah, he might have
what happened to Luke.
Him and
What
Luke.
happened between him and
That did humanize him a little bit more.
Right.
But
Because
I was,
they showed
it
his-
was
they showed
interesting
his
how
interpretation
both of them
it.
told
Yeah.
the same story and with just a
Different
slight
points of
difference.
view.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing of the Jedi. You know?
Listen,
Yeah.
the
Depends
only
on your
people-
point of
that was
view.
The
interesting.
only people who know the truth are Luke and Ren.
Yeah, true. I still don't like Kylo Ren. I didn't like him in the first movie. I thought that first of all, you kill Han Solo, so you kill Han Solo, you already like down in the gutter for me.
He didn't want to do Star Wars anymore. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh, the
give
actor,
him.
he's
Yeah,
like,
he
hey,
said he
Harrison
only
Ford.
did it
Pay
because
him
he
more
wanted a
money.
paycheck. He's like, because people were asking him like, why did you agree to do it? He's like, I wanted
I
money.
love Harrison Ford. I love Han Solo. So screw
Harrison
you.
Ford is shit though.
Of course,
Regardless.
he's a
Kylo Ren. I
badass,
hate
but he
Kylo
didn't.
Ren.
Listen. We all know in the next Star Wars movie he's gonna come back reincarnated as Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. I still didn't feel like I felt for Kylo Ren. I don't like the guy.
Let me spit this up for you. Kylo Ren, all right? He is supposed to be not necessarily the replacement, but he's supposed to be the essence of who Darth Vader was, right? That's who his character is. His character is supposed to be the essence of who Darth Vader was. Because if you think about it, the Supreme Being even told him, you had the potential to be the next Darth Vader. Everybody's always comparing him to that, all right? But he's not Darth Vader. You can't do that. You can't have that person from the past be this reincarnation of Kylo Ren. So I think that they still stuck true to the essence of who he was with that imbalance and that struggle inside of him, because Darth Vader had that too. He had that, he's this all about the dark force or whatever, but then when he actually was with his son Luke, there was that moment of humility where he actually kind of changed. And that happened with Kylo Ren, with him and Rey. When him and Rey, there was that moment where you kind of felt like Rey was really having him maybe lean over into
The light.
the light.
Yeah, but
There was
I
that
didn't
little
feel that.
tug. So
But-
you didn't feel that?
Nah.
So to me,
but
I
you
felt
know-
like they stayed true to who his character was. If he's supposed to be like a Darth Vader and he still had that conflict inside of him, he's living up to who his character is
Vader
supposed
had but Vader had a real reason to turn back to the light. Okay, so Vader had the whole thing of that he believed that he lost the woman that he loved and his unborn children. He believed they were dead, and now he came across them.
They didn't show you that till episode 3, which was after.
They
he was
didn't.
Vader.
They didn't show that. But then you had. But okay, so you want to stick to the original trilogy. In the original trilogy, in Empire Strikes Back, Vader was very much dark. There wasn't, even though he said that join me and we can rule the galaxy. There was no I'm gonna let you just turn turn me to the other side. I'm going to turn you or I'm going to kill you. And he left it at that.
And
It wasn't until Return of the
that's Kylo
Jedi.
Ren
to
still.
But that's
And
Kylo Ren, though.
still.
He's still living
he's
up to that.
Yes, and all the Siths are like that. It's
Yeah.
they eventually betray their teacher and then become the master.
No.
Vader
That was
was
pretty
much
badass the way he betrayed his teacher.
Kylo
That
Ren-
was
Yeah.
dope.
That's another thing, too,
Yeah.
though. It's because I felt like that was one of the twists that I was like, wow, this just went in another direction. It's because now you have, I was expecting at least Snoke to last. The next scene, the next movie, and then the way that he
had to be gone.
that was like, wow.
And and that part actually kind of aggravated me a little bit. It's like I was waiting to see them like really go in and develop Snoke and see how he became, how he got his powers. Maybe go into a little bit of maybe like a little bit of a backstory. It's like they killed him off like way too soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I felt like it was too fast.
I think they did that though because they're trying to kind of close that chapter and really focus on the new generation.
Oh man, they really closed a lot of chapters.
Like,
they closed Snoke.
I think they're just trying to push forward.
I'm saying, does Mark Hamill want us to be Luke anymore?
Okay, but I'm talking about like other characters. What about Captain Phasma? Captain Phasma, I was expecting a little bit more out of her. I liked the character. I liked the idea of having her, and she was just like, gone. And
Did
then
you like Captain Phasma?
I thought that he have something different.
Why do I need a Captain Stormtrooper?
Yeah.
Because she's badass and she has a sword.
And she
took some shots and nothing even happened.
And she's all chrome.
How do you not like Chrome, bro?
I don't actually.
Yeah, I could have
She's
done
probably
without her.
she's probably got spinners on her TIE fighter.
The biggest,
I thought that was a good scene.
one of the CGI points where I felt was kind of lacking was the return of a certain Jedi Master. I felt like he looked a little bit weird.
No, it was a mix. I know what you're saying, but it was like a mix. It was a mix between like part CGI and part puppet.
Yeah. I like the puppet.
Like his face looked kind of just like little
Weird.
like, smushed.
Yeah.
But but that whole scene with him was freaking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he
The whole bouncing and laughing.
Yeah, it just it brought me back to when they were back on Dagobah and he was trying to train him, and then he's sitting there and he's smacking him in the head with the with the cane, and
I think that's why they did it though, to bring you back to those.
To pull you back,
Because they were
back
closing
in.
it out.
Yeah.
So give you a taste of it, and that's it.
I thought Finn's character was pretty dope. I really liked that whole ending part scene where they're held up at the base, and then he's coming out in that ship to attack the whatever that thing was, the battering ram.
Yeah,
thing.
the mega battering ram.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it was just everything was a transition. Like, Poe was that guy then. Back then he had a leader, and he was I'm gonna go jump into that battle, and now Finn's taking over.
And Poe's becoming more of like the leader now.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Telling them, no,
He
pull
matured.
back.
Because remember when they had the chance to go and shoot the cannon, he's like, no, we're pulling back. We're going back. And like he was actually understanding
He learned from the beginning of the movie.
That you can't just go trigger happy.
Leia's grooming him to be a leader.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end, it's like, what are you looking at me for?
Follow him.
Yeah. True.
So,
It's like the passing of the baton. All the old characters are stepping back, and all the new ones are,
I loved the Falcon scene at the end there. That was great.
Yeah.
I needed a Falcon scene. They gave me one, and I was like, yes.
When he's
Like,
like, we
yes.
hate that shit.
everybody hates that shit. That was pretty funny.
Shoot that hunk of junk out of the
That
sky. I was like,
little-
yes.
That little poor character when he got pressed up against the glass, it was just like
That was cute.
it's all smushed up there. Yeah, that was your family fun moment.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
How do you
man.
feel about Finn and his little love interest who risked her life for him?
I thought,
don't think
exactly. I thought he was feeling right.
I
I
thought so
think he
too.
still is feeling Ray.
No.
I think she's feeling him.
That's what's gonna happen
Ray-
next
That's
We're
what
gonna
I'm
have
telling
a
you. That little love triangle is what I'm trying to talk about.
This is where you're wrong because
It's gonna be like Twilight.
Rose is gonna hook up with Finn, but what I did see that kind of piqued my interest a little bit was Poe and Ray. I got that.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Because I got that. I got
Oh,
that
he's
whole
like,
reverse.
yeah.
I got that whole reverse
He was like,
of Han and
I'm
Leia.
Poe. Like, I know you're right.
I got that whole. It's that whole reverse thing with Han
He's
and Leia.
She's new Leia.
So the roles are reversed. So she's she's more she's more Leia and he's he's Han. So I kind of see
I see
that
what you're saying.
that combination going there like. Oh, who are you?
But what if they went completely left field and then Kylo Ren and Rey?
Yeah.
No? Am I the only one wishing for that?
No,
Yeah,
no.
you're right.
How about the whole Princess Leia coming into her Jedi abilities? That was kind of
Yeah, that shit was kind of weak.
You think so?
I'm
I thought
sorry.
that was kinda cool.
I'm sorry.
I
The
thought it
whole
was cool.
shit.
I thought it was cool.
Listen, You get blown up and float into space, you're out of oxygen like that.
She's a Jedi.
Then you
my other
know what?
problem-
She should have just
Force
turned.
sensitive.
She just turned into a blue hologram like everybody else and just floated away at that point. I mean,
No, I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I
no.
did too.
and
I
and
agree.
you know, and it's funny because I was sitting next to our friend in the movie, and then like she like starts pulling herself in, and I'm like, what the hell is this? The Matrix? I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't like that part either.
you know, I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, I'm like, that's kind of weak.
I kind of felt
I
they
didn't-
did that so they wouldn't get so much hate at the fact that they already killed Han Solo. They only have the Luke Skywalker
Yeah, but they
and
had,
and-
yeah, but they
like,
had to find the
practicality.
part to kill her off because
She's
she's
dead.
dead.
I
Yeah.
understand, but
I was
they
waiting
didn't-
for that actually throughout the movie. Like, this is the part she's gonna die. Okay, no,
Yeah,
she didn't
yeah.
die. Okay, no, this is the part. I'm like, okay.
I'm
I think it was a
saying-
good
She's a
send
survivor.
off.
Yeah.
He's a survivor.
Even though
yeah,
you
but
could
it wasn't
tell
a
at the
send-off.
very
That's the
end.
problem.
You could tell at the
Oh,
very end that
it
was
wasn't a send-off.
she was CGI with Rey. You guys didn't notice that the last conversation
Oh.
with
Yes.
Rey and
Yeah, it
she was
a little bit
CGI'd in there.
They still did a pretty good job with it.
They did.
How about that battle with
the
Ray and
Knights
Ray and
Were they no? They were the Praetorian guards.
the Praetorian Guards? Yeah,
I liked it.
Praetorian
cool.
That was dope.
That was
That
an
was
epic.
cool.
That was
You
flat
know.
out full on epic fight.
Yeah.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
You know,
That was so cool.
the shit was so cool when all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, Batman, Robin, yeah, let's go back to back."
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, when
and
they were
it's like-
fighting
yeah,
together?
and it's like,
Pow!
yeah, it's like, pew, pew, you know, it's like, you
I
know,
like
that
that.
was
Yeah, that was
that,
cool.
that was totally cool.
Yeah, I like that
I
too.
agree.
Probably one of my favorite scenes.
That was pretty
Yeah.
good. The training of her was a little bit different
But
too.
they're saying it's a bloodline.
And that was
has
very
that
quick,
power
and that was
because
very
there's all
quick
Jedis.
too.
That was
like,
very rushed
like
over.
all of a sudden
Yeah, I
at the
didn't
end
like
of the
that.
movie, hold on, let me move this a massive mound of rocks so you can all escape. Bullshit!
Well,
it
no.
took Luke almost the whole movie
To
of
be
Empire
trained.
to lift the
But he
damn
even
X-wing
said she
out
had-
of the water.
he even
Give me a
said she-
break.
He even said she had raw power. First of all, that's that, and it was same thing like Kylo. So go back to family, right? And they say they're from a bloodline that has that power. Right? So you know you're all fantasy freaks. So you're all good with bloodlines, right? So
Maybe she.
You know what was missing? A montage.
She
the training.
needed a training. She needed a training montage.
There wasn't enough
no, but
training.
even with like, I felt like they stayed true to that too because even in the fighting that she didn't seem like she had uber skills on the saber. She was good with it. She can handle herself, but
Yeah, but she
she
wasn't
didn't
like-
necessarily.
There was
flip
no
around
finesse,
like,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
like,
this.
Yeah, there was
Um,
no finesse.
She
I'm
does
the
wave
next-
it a little bit
Yeah.
wildly.
Part of me thinks that she needs more she needs more training with the lightsaber, but now of course how is she gonna get that? I mean, we
How
did
did-
see she
how did
was
Luke
slick
get
with her staff though. She was pretty slick twirling her staff. So I mean,
Well, Luke disappeared, so now she's
I was
gonna
gonna
talk
say,
to
can
him.
we mention that real quick?
What's
Luke
up?
just
Oh
vanishes.
yeah, but we didn't even get a chance
Oh,
to talk
sorry.
about Luke fighting. That whole scene when
Oh
Luke
yeah,
comes out of the
that-
air.
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
fighting.
because he wasn't there.
Well,
I
whatever,
knew that.
but
I
still,
called
his
that.
badass.
I
Yeah,
called that out.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
I
you
called
did.
it out.
Tell by his face.
Yeah, you could tell. His hair was completely darker and longer because he had like that hobo.
well,
look.
maybe
I thought
he
that was
stopped
kinda
on
weird,
his way
too.
to
The other thing that
Galactic
drew
Barber
it
and
up-
got his hair dyed.
Yeah, right.
You
He
know.
stopped in and got a little cut.
Yeah.
The thing that threw me off immediately when I thought, okay, something's not right here, the saber. The minute he pulled the lightsaber out, I was just like, how the fuck did he have that lightsaber when they broke it earlier? I was like, it's crazy. So I was like, so then I was like, okay,
Oh, and
something
he
ain't
had a
right.
green one.
He had a blue one at
No,
the
but he
end.
had a green one initially, so it wasn't
Yeah.
a saber.
Well, the
green
green
one.
one was at Return of the Jedi.
Right, but if
He never had a. He didn't have a green. He lost the green one after the temple. The temple
Right.
burned down.
No, he had it afterwards.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Well, he kind of did.
Yes, he did.
He had it next to,
afterwards.
yeah, he had it on his side when he fell to his knees. But, you know,
Blue, green.
hey, whatever.
No, but
I still
those
think
are-
it was
See,
dope.
see,
I feel like
Seafoam?
no, those are perfect little things that should have told Kylo this ain't real.
He was too
But he
focused
doesn't know.
on
He hadn't seen Luke in
in
forever.
years.
But these are little things that should have and that's why you portrayed what you knew, what you saw him before. He was in his mind.
What do-
He was blinded
Hey,
by his hate
so-
and
yes,
anger
because
and
he's
his
trying to-
resentment. He
What do I
was
always
realize,
say?
Like, hey, you haven't aged. Your saber is blue and not green. You're not noticing the little things.
Right.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
Yeah.
He was completely
Hatred was
blinded
just
by
like,
his
boom.
by his rage
Yeah.
to even think of any of that stuff, and he was like, screw. I mean, even when he was in the freaking AT-AT, he was like, yo, he's like, all cannons just freaking light this dude up,
And it didn't even
and it
faze
didn't
him.
even phase him.
That was
Can we
awesome.
talk about that little?
Yeah, the little dust off your
That little-
shoulder. That was great.
Disneyfied again.
Meant
That was
nothing
cool.
to me. Luke got shot at, and
I like how Hux
nothing
looked at him and
happened.
was like, did you think you got him? You know, it was like,
Yeah.
that was great, you know. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, What do you guys think we're going next? Where do we think we're going with the movie next?
Never ending.
It's gonna.
It's gonna end.
It's more. I mean, it depends. I mean, you know, are they gonna make this a 3-part? You know, a 3-part.
Well, they are. It is 3 parts.
You know, so
I just don't know how we're gonna move on to the next.
I mean, clearly where it's gonna pick up for the next one is them.
She's gonna have to kill Kylo.
Rebuilding, you know, them rebuilding the resistance. You know, rebuilding the resistance.
Him to the other side.
No, like
she's like hell bent on that, right?
Oh, and have babies.
Yeah,
Jedi babies.
Jedi babies. Damn Padawans.
The little boy. The little boy.
Oh, okay.
That
was cool. Well, did he pull the Force?
Yeah, he did.
With the Force.
So who
He
is
has the
he?
Force.
There's no explanation.
I think it's letting you know that
there's
there
Jedis
is
out
Jedis
there.
out there, and
Well, Force sensitive people.
Force sensitive people.
Yeah.
and that there's not just Luke. He wasn't truly the last Jedi.
The last Jedi.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that lineage lives on, and
Yeah,
there's other people who can be.
Who are Force sensitive, yeah.
Well, that have the midichlorians, you know.
No,
and-
Well, you did
if
mention
you want to
say
get
that.
technical,
Don't
gotta use a
understand
big
again.
word.
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
You don't want to know.
Oh.
It's
That's funny.
So, Luke passing was something.
No,
I really didn't expect that.
He didn't pass.
He did.
He will come back as his hologram.
As
a spirit.
As a spirit.
He will come back as
Which
a spirit.
I'm hoping for.
It
I
was
really like that
peaceful.
idea. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to. You know, you're going to have that whole like, Obi-Wan Kenobi moment where he came back and was helping Luke. The same thing. Luke's going to come back and help Rey. Be like, oh, you need to go to this planet or something to finish your training, and she's going to go there and finish her training. And if you notice too, when they were in the Millennium Falcon. When Finn opened up the drawer, the Jedi Temple books.
The books were there.
I saw that.
The Jedi Temple
I
books.
saw the
noticed
temple.
that.
I noticed that too.
When he opened, I was
Which
gonna mention it to you. I was
It
like,
didn't
look,
make any sense to me.
they
Yeah,
didn't
got
burn
blown
down.
up and she-
No,
It didn't
because
burn down.
because she took the books
before
she left. Before she left on the Falcon.
But it was on fire.
No,
it
that was
wasn't.
before.
No.
That's right. You're right. It was.
Yeah.
it was
She
Luke.
escaped. Well, not
So
yet.
that's why
She
Yoda.
left.
So that's why Yoda was like, "It's okay to
Boom.
burn this crap down," And
Yeah.
it's like,
And
She's
you
like,
said,
catch
it's
that.
nothing
I
she
caught
doesn't
it.
already know.
yeah.
Isn't it? All right.
Yeah, I did catch that. It was when he got his sweater jacket.
Okay, so that makes sense to me now. Yeah, so I thought it ended pretty good.
That in the next one, they better tell us who her damn parents are.
They mentioned it. They kind of.
No.
I think they left that open though, so they
It's-
can wiggle with that and be like, all right, who do we want to make her parents be?
But how
Lies and
important
deception.
really is that, though?
It is important. It is
How?
important
Not really.
because you want to know. You want to know about her background. I mean, I understand that the force is within everybody, and it depends on how strong you are.
You want to know that lineage of where she
you
got it from
wanna-
directly.
You want to know where she's from.
I think that in Star Wars, anybody can become a
can
Jedi.
be,
Force
yeah.
sensitivity, like we
Well,
saw with the
no,
boy.
but that's what
what I'm
I'm
saying
saying.
is, but what I'm saying is with as far as the reason why we want to know, who Rey's parents are, is that they started out that little mystery with the Force Awakens. So I feel like there needs to be a
An answer
completion.
to
of
that
There
that.
needs to be closure.
Otherwise, they should have never even
They
brought
haven't
that up.
figured it out
I do
yet.
need
The
closure.
writers are still
I need
working on
closure.
it.
Okay.
They're buying some
Set
time.
me some closure.
So,
Get him some.
I want my damn closure. Give
Take
it to
your time,
me, Disney.
writers.
Give it to me.
They're taking their time.
the angry reviewer.
I know, right?
The anger on this side, dark side, and then we got the light.
Hey,
Not so
I'm-
much dark.
Thank you,
You
thank
come
you,
over
thank you.
here.
I'm more in the
He
middle.
takes more of his
Yeah,
dark
he's
by
more
himself.
John's more like in
I'm
the
more in the
middle.
middle.
He
We're
bounces
the
on
gray.
both sides.
We're the gray Jedi.
The great
Exactly.
Jedi.
The gray on this side.
And I did get Mace Windu on our little quiz the other day.
There you go.
And he did try to kill someone, which is against the Jedi way.
Yeah, but he was a Sith Lord, so
Mace
Listen,
Windu
it was
a Sith Lord?
no, he tried to kill a Sith Lord.
Listen, it was self-defense.
No, it wasn't. That's why.
It was
That's
clearly
what put
self-defense.
Anakin on his path.
That was a technicality on Anakin's part and bad judgment. So he should have let him kill Emperor Palpatine.
You mean Craig and Skywalker? Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Hater.
so
I like the movie.
you like the movie?
Worth a watch. Go
Yeah.
see it.
Oh, definitely worth the watch if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
the
Bring your
time.
non-Star Wars fans.
I'm gonna go
They'll
see it
enjoy
again.
too.
Yeah,
It's long
Absolutely.
though.
Well, you kind of almost have to
It
watch
is
it again.
3 hours.
The thing is that you're trying to pay attention to every nook and cranny while you're trying to watch. The thing. Like we saw the books, but Josh missed it.
I missed
So
it.
it's
Yeah.
like now you're rethinking. Okay, what else did I miss? Because there are some parts of the movie where there's a lot going on at once, and you're trying to really take in everything
Yeah.
that's going on. That you might miss. A little gold in a nugget. Here
Yeah.
and there, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good actually. So
I like the movie too.
Go watch it. That's it. In the theaters.
You
In
better
the
be.
theater.
You better
Yes.
be leaving your house right
No
now to watch
bootleg
it
for
viral.
this.
No
Flash
bootleg,
open through this
guys.
camera.
Support the experience.
Yes.
All right, guys. So that concludes our review, a spoiler-free and spoiler review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed our personalities. We had a great time here. You know, have our beer. I'm almost done with my beer now. This is great. You know, nothing like beer and reviews. Right? So if you enjoyed this, you know, make sure you check out our website mcecentral.com to see more reviews of movies coming out, trailer reactions. If you missed the trailer reaction to the Avengers, you should check that out. It's
I
funny
wish
as
I
hell.
was there for that.
Yeah, we'll get you on the next one.
You know what?
Yeah.
After the way I've been getting trolled, I wish I wasn't there for that.
When
We're
it comes to
bringing him
Avengers,
back.
I got a lot to say about that.
Anyway, guys, we're going to be coming back at you with more reviews like this, so stay tuned for all that. Until then, see you guys next time.